Hello everybody. Today we are going to learn about some things that we can do to take care of the earth, of the world that we live in. So I have a book called 10 Things I Can Do to Help My World. Because we have a really beautiful world to live in, but we have to take good care of it. So these are some things that we can do to take care of the world. Let's see what the first one is. Oh, this is important. I remember to turn off the light when I leave the room because lights use electricity and we don't want to waste electricity. So if you're not in a room, you can turn off the light. I try, lots of water running in that sink, to turn off the tap or the faucet when I brush my teeth. So when you're brushing your teeth, do you need to have the water running and waste all that water? No. So you get your toothbrush wet and then you turn off the water, brush your teeth, and then you can turn the water back on to rinse your toothbrush when you're done. But you don't need to keep the water running the whole time. So turn it off while you're brushing. I always, I wonder what they're going to do here. Do you know what this is? That's right, it's a trash can. I always throw my trash away. Your trash goes in the trash can, not down on the ground. That helps keep our world clean if we put all of our trash in the trash can. So it's another thing we can do to help the world. I see some birds and it looks like it's winter and they're in the snow. I will feed the birds in winter. Oh, that's a nice thing to do because it's hard for the birds that are in the snow, that don't fly south, that stay here in the winter. It's hard for them to find food in the snow. So if you put a little bird feeder out, you can give them food. And that helps keep the birds healthy and happy. I like this picture that this child drew. Excuse me, I see a tree, bird, flowers, butterfly. Maybe that's a bird flying. I use both sides of the paper. Here's another picture. So here's the picture on one side of the paper, and then when you're done drawing a picture on one side of your paper, you can turn it over and draw another picture on the back. So in the back, this child made another tree and a person and flowers and looks like maybe a cat and the sun. So you can make two pictures on one piece of paper. And then you're not wasting the paper. So that's a good way to help the world too. I remind my parents to unplug the TV when we are not watching it, and that will save electricity and help our world too. Wow, lots of things we can do. Oh, this one's kind of fun. I see some cardboard boxes, different things there. Making toys from things around the house. So leftover boxes, before you decide to put them in the recycling, you could take them and you could make a toy. So somebody made, it looks like a robot with some cardboard boxes and some pieces of cardboard and some paper. So you can make things kind of like when we talked about different kinds of houses. Remember we used Kleenex boxes to make a house? So that is a good way to recycle things, to use them again. The Kleenex box became our pretend house. And these boxes became a pretend robot. And when we're done with the story, I'll show you something else that you can make too from things around your house. I see a car in this picture, to walk to school. So if you live close enough to school or to the store, you can walk there with a grown-up instead of driving the car. And that saves gasoline, and it saves, when a car uses gasoline, we know that fumes come out of the back. It's called exhaust, comes out of the back of the car, and that's not really good for the air that we breathe. So if you can walk sometimes instead of driving the car, that helps save the air that we breathe, and it saves on gasoline too. And those are good ways to help the world. I see some seeds and some pots with soil. I can plant seeds and help them grow. Oh, that helps keep the world. If we plant flowers, that keeps our world pretty. And we can also grow things to eat. And that's good for, it's good for us, and it's good for our world to grow plants. I help. Ooh, lots of things there. Sort the recycling. So these are things that we can recycle. You can put cans in a container to recycle, glass, plastic, paper, and this is compost. This is like leftover food and carrot and potato peelings, coffee grounds, things like that can go in a special compost that it doesn't really get recycled. Like these go to the recycling plant, the plastic, the paper, the glass, and the cans. But the compost, the garbage that we have, can go in a special compost pile, and after a while it can be added to the soil to make the soil nice. So it kind of gets recycled, excuse me, it gets recycled that way, it goes into the soil. And I do all these things all because I love my world. And there's our beautiful world that we need to take care of. Well, remember we looked at the picture of the cardboard boxes that can be made into a robot toy. Well, I'm going to show you something else that we can make into, we're actually going to make a costume using a grocery bag. So this is how I made my costume with a grocery bag. And you can do this at home too. You'll need a pair of scissors. So my scissors here. And the first thing that I did was I cut the handles off the top of my grocery bag. And then on this side of my bag, after I cut the handles off, I cut a long slit all the way down to make two flaps. And then I turn my bag upside down. This is the bottom of my grocery bag. I cut a big hole, and that is a hole for my head to fit through. So I have a big hole, a long slit, cut off the handles, and then on the two sides of my grocery bag, I cut two holes big enough for my arm to go through. So I have one on this side of the bag, and I cut an armhole on this side of the bag. And so I made kind of a paper bag vest, and I'll show you how you can put it on. So we had to cut the handles off, one long line for a slit, and then one big hole, two, three holes, big enough to put our body through. So I'm going to show you how we can wear this. I'm going to put one arm through, and then it kind of fits around my head, and then the other arm through, and there is my paper bag costume. And you can decorate your costume. It's kind of like a vest, isn't it? You can, after you cut out your costume, try it on, make sure it fits. You can decorate your costume any way that you like and be anything that you want to pretend to be. You could decorate your costume to look like an animal. You could decorate it to be an astronaut, a doctor, a prince, a princess, anything that you want to be. And then you have a costume you can wear, and you can pretend to be whatever you made your costume into. If you made it into a dog, you could pretend to be a dog. If you made it into a doctor, you could pretend to be a doctor. Anything that you'd like to be. And that's one way that we are reusing a paper grocery bag. You can put paper grocery bags in the recycling, and you can also use them to make costumes. So that's a fun thing that you can try at home. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Have fun with your costume.